So this is a poem I wrote when I was a private soldier. It's about being in the forces, right? It's about being in the army, but I've been cheesy and readapted it to be in the forces because it's dry service, and I'm probably going to screw it up there. Here we go. This is a poem about that I wrote when I was a private soldier in 1457. And I wrote this poem about what I thought it'd be like joining the army and then getting out the other end. And I thought I'd nailed it after 22 years of normal service, and then I suddenly realised that I hadn't, because does anybody remember, especially the RAF might remember this, and I think most of us will, that parade in Peterborough that was curtailed a few years ago? Does anyone remember that? Yeah. There was a coming home parade that was curtailed in Peterborough, and because they said it would offend people who weren't in the forces. And I really thought, if I'm going to perform in front of civilians, I need to take them behind the scenes. So I make no excuse for this poem. It's funny in bits, but it also has poignancy. And this is for you guys, and for me, because I am one of you guys. This is called the Squaddies Lament. One day I joined the forces. I did it on a whim. I wasn't big and macho. I'd never been inside a gym. But the town that I was living in had now in store for me with just a tunnel view of a dole queue or the floor of a factory. So I went to see the Navy lot. They said, we're after men. Come back when you're 21. We'll sodomise you then. I went to see the RAF. They promptly told me flat, go and be a pongo, you scruffy little twat. So I went to see the army lot. They eyed me with a grin. They said, what's 3 + 1? I answered, 9. They said, you're in. They hit me with a shovel, chucked me in a sack and stuck me on a train to Camberley. There was no turning back. So, to the training depot where they drilled me all about, bellowed, get your flaming haircut! Then began to kit me out with a mountain of green uniform that was never meant to fit, and sort of made me put it on. I looked a sack of shit. They showed me how to make me bed. They taught me how to march, how to iron me trousers and stiffen up with starch. They made me bull me boots and put them on and run through mud for miles and sit on wet for a ton of seats till I developed piles. They showed me how to fire a rifle. It weighed a flaming ton. On my first go, I shot a crow. If I scored a 100, I got none. Until this call ranted, keep that weapon here, you prick. You ever go to war, you'll have to hit her with a stick. They made us run through tough terrain, through hills and dales and sleet and rain. Oh, the exertion! Oh, the pain! Then he turned us around and we did it again. But I persevered, and you know what? I turned into a crack shot. They built me strength so I could run up and down those hills for fun. I thought, this is the life for me, come on! Let's storm an embassy. And I got to like the forces, the camaraderie. I travelled quite extensively and saw the world for free. They took me up a mountain and taught me how to ski, and when I wrote and told me mates back home, the buggers envied me. And within a year, I turned into a really macho bloke. Tattoo on the right arm, girl on the left, learned to tell a dirty joke. Stayed out at night, got into fights and drank me weight in ale. I woke up in the morning with a shiner in the jail. I've smoked 1 million cigarettes, I've drank 1,000 crates. I've played 1 million games of cards, I've manned 1,000 gates. I've slept shivering in a muddy trench out underneath the stars, and I've been banned from 30 nightclubs and 100 grotty bars. I spent my wages in a weekend on girls that tried to woo, with me muscles and me six-pack and me tales of daring do. Then woke up, strange bed, throbbing head, clothes strewn on the floor. And a lovely bird beside me who looked nice the night before. And when the threat of war loomed large, they made me drop and cough and check my health and stuck me into camouflage and sent me off to find myself. Join the army, see the world, they said, but little did I know the desperate, dangerous places that I'd be forced to go. Aldershot. Woolwich, Afghanistan, Iraq, living on your wit for months on end for would he of attack. Today the world's unstable, there is genocide, unrest. Fathers dying, mothers crying with a baby at their breast. And on one side the soldier is trying to keep the peace, and on the other he is like a losing batsman in the crease. But these are bullets and bombs, not cricket balls. And when the roar of duty calls, a soldier has to do it. And it takes guts and it takes character to see that soldier through it. So I'll stand up here and I'll say it loud. I was that soldier and I am proud. Yeah. The help I gave, the peace I kept, whilst landmines lined the route I stepped. I've seen families slaughtered, children maimed, and I'll tell you, I am not ashamed to admit sometimes I lay beneath those stars at night and quietly wept. Don't think a soldier hasn't a heart. Don't think he's a machine. He has a heart, he has a brain, he feels courage, he feels pain, and he recoils and he feels anger at the cruelty he's seen. Beneath that macho image, that perception of aggression, there's a human being who's highly trained and proud of his profession.
Ring the bell!
So, thank you, Quasimodo. So to all the protesters, the people who displayed your anger and resentment at the coming home parade, whilst I admire your passion, I have to say to you that if you could come behind the lines, you'd take a different view. When a serviceman's not in uniform, he's just the same as you. Don't go too far, it put me off last time. So next time you see a serviceman in your local standing near, when he bores you with his dirty tales, please kindly lend an ear. And rather than disown him, please give that man a cheer when he hops it with your girlfriend after swigging down your beer. And now an older, wiser fool. I've seen the world, both good and bad, advancing years, but with just 2 beers, I'll still be Jack the Lad. I'm not the prettiest of creatures that the world has ever seen. But I'm proud to say I've held the fray for my country and the Queen. Thank you! Ladies and gentlemen, the handy passage every morning, Captain and I'm Mac McFadden. Good night. There's our Mac McFadden! Yeah! Lovely, lovely. Don't run! Right, there you go. It's alright, take your time.